It's the Full Force News Burst Extra, brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com, with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80. During this year's PulseCon, the G.I. Joe brand team revealed a new name coming to the Classified series. So let's talk Snow Serpent. Okay then, I am back with yet another name-only reveal deep dive, and this time we are looking at one cold son of a biznatch. It's the Snow Serpent. Name dropped during PulseCon along with two other names, the female Cobra Trooper, which has been further revealed since as the Trooper Officer 2-pack, and Buzzer, who we covered a few episodes ago. The Snow Serpent has been a highly requested figure in the Classified series. I may have accidentally let the cat out of the bag, or the serpent out of the snow, or should I say, before the official reveal during a weekly episode, because we were aware of the figure coming to the line very early on, and I'm pretty sure everyone just assumed it was a slip of the tongue, which it sort of was, but you know what I'm saying. The Snow Serpent was another figure that was huge in the UK. They were on merchandise and so on, but featured very heavily in the Marvel comics. I specifically remember them being prominent in the Quick Kick focused weekly storyline Cold Comfort, and that awesome monthly short story The Cold Zone, where they were drawn by Jerry Paris and all looked like Space Marines. The sad thing is, I never had one as a kid. I know, how tragic. Despite my inability to purchase the figure, I was still enamoured with the design and thought they made for a very badass troop builder. The vintage version 1 figure is an absolute icon in the line. Those sad old eye holes and the Viewmaster goggles, the vented mouthpiece and so on, made for a pretty intimidating visage, especially with that all black deco on the face elements that stand out in a sea of greys and blues. Rocking the polar bear skin and fur around their neck, on the shoulders and around their wrists, while maintaining that military chic everywhere else, the grey and blue deco really brought out some of those beautifully sculpted details, with one splash of red on the left upper arm for the Cobra logo, because branding. They look great, and that was even before you put all their outstanding gear on, so they came with a few very interesting pieces that just work so well with the character. The AK-47 gave them a reliable weapon that could work in most conditions. They got a really nicely sculpted backpack with a peg on one side to tab on the anti-tank EK-99 missile and bipod they had to lug around. They got some swanky tennis rackets if they wanted to challenge some random ice vipers to a game of 10 ice. Ugh, I know. They are clearly snowshoes, and that was a dope enough addition on its own. And finally, that super awesome blue parachute pack that fixed around the waist and added another awesome element to the figure's overall design. Imagine parachuting in with all that gear. The detail that went into this figure really shows, and that makes me excited for the classified version. It almost certainly has to be the version 1 that we will see eventually on the digital render during a future live event. The version 2 is also sweet as but I would be surprised to see the mustard brown and white with a dash of purple figure and that insanely cool backpack that carries all of their extreme sporting equipment and a rocket launcher hit the shelves before the classic OG. That V2 also got a few repaints in both blue and white in 1993 and grey and white in 1998 in that Cobra Polar Force 3-pack that got a mention in the last episode about Firefly for obvious reasons. The 2002 G.I. Joe vs Cobra redesign was more about making the original design fit in the new figure articulation than doing anything different. That figure got a reuse in 2003 with the Polar Blast and a slightly different deco before the new single-carded direct-to-consumer online exclusive in 2005. It sort of carried over a few of the significant signposts of the original, but the 25th had to bring it back in 2008 to genuinely give proper homage to the classic. That figure saw use again twice in one set with the Extreme Conditions Arctic Assault Squad, which I mentioned for another deep dive a while ago, but can't for the life of me remember. Televiper, yes, that was it. The modern Snow Serpent was used for the Rise of Cobra True exclusive figure in 2009, and finally as a Snow Serpent officer with the Ice Cutter in the Pursuit of Cobra in 2010. It has been a while since we last saw this particular trooper, and I for one cannot wait to see what they have done with it. The scope to really get some of those details on a 6-inch figure get me very excited indeed, and I could also see them adding the straps and web gear as a secondary piece that possibly connects to the parachute pack on the front. That would be so cool. I hope they give them all of those awesome accessories and just reuse the current AK in the assortment. The backpack could be made to carry the snowshoes as well, just as the original Ron Rudat sketch and presentation art by George Woodbridge intended. This is a really exciting addition to the line, and if they get this one right, it could be very hard to find because so many of the toys are easy to get hold of, right? The last point to be discussed is whether or not you think this will be a standard or deluxe release. I know a lot of people have been put off when an army builder is given enough gear to push them into the higher price point, and I fully get that, but I also think that some figures require a lot of those accessories in order to do them justice. In this case, I could see the figure being released as a deluxe to ensure they get all of their gear. If going in a more pricey direction, I wouldn't say no to a pair of skis and ski poles that could all be transported on the pack, of course. Alternatively, they could release a more standard retail version with an eye on a repaint later on, or even do them as a deluxe with an eye to do a Trooper 3-pack in the future with a Snow Serpent Commander, like the club's 2007 O-Ring repaint. You thought I'd forgotten about that one, didn't you? It's a tricky balance for sure, and honestly, I'm just excited to see what this absolute beauty looks like. I imagine it looks like the version 1 McLeod, keep up. So what do you guys think? Will we be making Snow Serpent Angels next Christmas? How many toy photography shots of these guys playing tennis will we see that first week of delivery? Could you navigate your way around the Arctic lugging all that gear in a pair of those rackets? Let me know in the comments below. Okay then, I will catch you on the next one. Stay fresh, cheese bags, and as always, full force. That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst Extra. Thank you for watching, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force!